Ding, ding, ding. Oh, you can tell how full my cup is.
I know mine wasn't going at all.
It was like clink, clink. There's no ding, ding tonight.
Ladies' night.
It's ladies' night, guys. Welcome to Anchor Watch, our weekly below deck chat, where we take over Adam's channel to recap the most watched show on Bravo television, especially after last week. What a rough week to follow, huh?
And it didn't stop too. Like we were just talking about this before the show started. People, they have access to them Instagrams and them Twitters and them TikToks, and they were expressing themselves, including cast members.
And I guess we should go ahead and just bring this up. So Laura has been kind of all over social media saying the wrong things, literally walking herself off a cliff and then getting up and walking herself off another cliff. So, Bailey, I wanted to ask you what you think about Laura's response to all of this stuff.
Well, Jason, can you kind of summarize what her response was, or do we have
it just I don't have it up right now, but it just is very tone deaf to the whole situation.
Yeah, so she had a post like in her, so she's private, by the way, on Instagram, but if you requested it, she accepted my request within like, I don't know, an hour or something.
She hasn't seen Anchor Watch.
Yeah. But she had one dedicated post like on her grid about how she didn't realize Adam was so uncomfortable. She's really sorry. And then she apologized to Margot as well for not empathizing with her. And she also talked about how during the show she was 29, but now she's 31 and a changed woman.
So many years of wisdom there, just from 29 to 31. Wow.
Yep.
But I mean, that just goes to show you too. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just goes to show you how long ago the show was filmed.
Yep. Exactly.
It's insane.
I think what bothered me the most, though, is how many stories she posted. You know how Instagram works, right? You can post the stories and then she saved them as a highlight. So you can rewatch them at any point. So that's what I did right beforehand. But she essentially she had no less than 15, 20 posts about like resharing all the support she's getting and how grateful she is for her fans and how Bravo painted her in a bad light. And I think just yet again, she is making it about her, not about Margot and not about Adam. And it's incredibly frustrating. And she has a dime to her name. She needs to put it towards a publicist right now.
Immediately. Some of these reality stars that get themselves into trouble, i.e. Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss, have really quick PR teams to respond to things like this. And I mean, obviously this is a different kind of circumstance, but man, it just seems like you really wish you would have gotten it and just come from a different place. I can understand because we talked about it last week a little bit, how production they need a show. So they're going to manipulate certain things to make it look a certain way. And I understand that. However, when it comes to Luke and like Laura's response, even on the boat, it was like, I question you a little bit, but now that you have the freedom to post whatever you want on your social media platform, and you're still kind of in this denial mode and talking about, well, no one talks about the good decor or how fast the drinks came out because we're too busy talking about who's whatever is not supposed to be there.
I was thinking too, like you pointed out, Jason. So this is like 2 years that they filmed this 2 years ago, right? What would it be like filming this, especially if you're Luke, and for 2 years knowing this bomb is going to drop and people are going to see, and I'll say this from the episode, he sounded like he didn't fight back. He didn't like try to make an excuse. He was like, I'm so embarrassed. So even then I think he realized like, oh crap, I messed up. And so for 2 years, he was probably like, oh, this is going to be horrible when it hits. But yeah, to the fact that Laura is still kind of just beating the same drum. It's like, hey, you didn't even realize you were wrong, when
you were 29.
The next day, a year, 2 years later, like, Wow. Yeah, her first response on her Instagram thing was so tone deaf and essentially saying the same thing. It does make you go like, oh yeah, half the world is below average. That's
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, she's
Think about
like
Think about it.
Clueless doesn't even touch it. It just doesn't even like
not at all. It's crazy to me that it just continues. Guys, we have 150 in the room to start us out tonight. We appreciate everyone being here. And just so we don't say it like a million times, your tip to us and our big tip that we love to receive every week is just by pushing that like button. We appreciate you guys so much. We're going to be doing another fundraiser on Friday for Maui. Yesterday, we raised $1,300 in efforts to fight.
This community is incredible.
We have the most amazing community. Even last week when we were talking about all of this stuff that occurred on Below Deck, we had such a respectful and fun chat. It's really cool.
And to your point, Jason, like our replay crew guys, like I've been chatting with you all week about this. It was like bittersweet because so many of you came and shared your experiences. Unfortunately, a lot of you have gone through similar situations, and that made me so sad. But the reason why I say bittersweet is that like the fact that you guys felt comfortable enough to share it with each other, I think kind of showed like no one's alone in this, and no one should be ashamed, and no one should feel isolated if that happens to them. And so, yeah, it just was really powerful, the things you guys were sharing in the chat. I really appreciate it. Again, Jason and I are in a different world. We're privileged guys to not go through what appears to sadly be a regular challenge for
100%. And I just want to also to like the reactions from, everyone on board, especially Aisha, who has experienced this herself, and Captain Jason, needed applause and got many applause from other Bravo stars and other Bravo captains, such as Captain Lee, who they just started a like couch talk thing, Captain Lee and Kate Chastain, where they talk about Bravo shows. And still, the jury's still out. I'm gonna give it another episode, but jury is still out. But let us know what you think about that.
Really give it another episode, Jason? Really?
I probably won't watch it, to be honest. There's already too much to watch.
You and I know how TV work, and sometimes I kind of feel like that was their promise to get Captain Lee to get off the boat a little sooner or something. Like, hey, we'll give you a show, and
we'll give you a show, and
I don't know. Hey, some people might like it, so I can't. I want to say this though. So we talked about last week. That's behind us. So far this season has not disappointed, right? Like they teased us with an exciting second half, and I felt like we kind of shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. I feel like we have experienced 3 seasons in one at this point. There has been the pre-incident. There has been the incident for like 2 episodes, right? And then there's the post-incident. So it's like we're starting in our new season. And so I really don't think, I think the guest is what we needed for right after the situation. I think this is what we need. We need something.
Josh, I pulled this one for you too.
Lighter.
Yes, we need it.
Josh, I have that same bikini on the way for you for a special.
So do I. I thought you were sending one to me.
Oh, well.
Well, hey, folks, if Bravo, if you want us to host, just let us know.
We'll host. I'm not going to say no. I'm not saying anything. We will panel at BravoCon in our thongs.
Hey, I do want to say, my wife and I were, this is kind of a horrible thing to laugh about, but sometimes we laugh through the pain, right, folks? We were laughing about how the crew just went through this whole like ordeal letting people go because they were too, much when it came to sexuality and stuff. Right. And then their first guest that hop on is these people these porn stars who step on board, and like immediately the way they're introducing themselves to the crew is by like sexually harassing the crew and saying like, "Oh, look at your body," and, we were just kind of like, "Wow!" Like my wife and I were kind of joking, like maybe like the crew should one of them should pull them aside and go, "Hey, just so you know, we let a couple people go." Yesterday because of sexual contrast. Please calm down. Like, yeah.
Do we talk about these guests more? I mean, just quickly. By the way, I went down a Instagram hole. I now follow Laura Desiree, the main primary guest, and she's actually a little. She's fun to follow. She's actually a little more tame than you'd think. Like she does all these guest appearance on podcasts. I mean, she still's got the flavor, right? But I also learned that we share birthdays, and maybe I just like love her more because of that.
Wait, Bailey, what is your sign? Your
Aries. I'm a fire sign. April 6th.
First life. They say it's the first life.
Yeah.
So you just come out of the gates just running.
Exactly. Sky Knox, so the kind of main guy, I don't think they called him the primary, but her like go-to buddy. He is a little bootylicious. I have a photo
of him really quick.
He's pretty bootylicious on his Instagram. It is not PG. Just heads up, you've been warned, but they're kind of fun. They're kind of fun to follow if you're looking.
Well, I found this really sweet nun to follow this week, and she's very wholesome and very nice. Bailey and I are opposite spectrums of the Instagram.
That's true. Yeah, don't look at my followers.
Followers? Well, Bailey.
I think that this
only Bailey
charter group,
guys.
This charter group was actually perfect to follow because I think you kind of make light of a different situation. I think it becomes something different, and I definitely think they didn't hassle the crew for anything.
Nothing.
Anything.
Not one thing. I can't think of one thing.
They struck that perfect balance to where they were fun, they were respectful to the crew, they were most importantly appreciative. I don't care how rich you get. If someone is willing to like serve you, you're not some Roman king or queen. You can be respectful and appreciative to people. And I felt like these guests were super appreciative to the service they got and the efforts that the crew was making. And
they are also fellow service providers.
Yeah, I know that was
in a
really
different
funny how
situation,
that was
a different context, but still they provide
pleasure.
Yeah,
isn't that what she said?
Yeah, Aisha did.
Yeah. There were lots of things running around. I love my favorite. I know we have a lot of things to get through, and we'll go through all of them. But my favorite little clip was when they all had to go to their rooms to make their like little cam shows. It's like they all like set lives for this night, and they were, it's like everyone was busy.
And they're still working, honey. They're still working.
I love too the editing they did where they keep cutting between them moaning in their room and then going to Aisha and Jason shooting whipped cream in their mouths going, this is so good. And then back to a room and them licking cream off the nozzle. It was like, okay, editing crew, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I loved it.
I mean, listen, this episode, and we're really focusing on episode 9, but we had 8. So that's why we're bringing in the charter guests. But this was a little less serious than all the firings and all of the misconduct that happened last time. Now we have Joao back. From Below Deck Med, who is coming in hot. And you can see, I don't know if you can see why, because Luke was very hands-on with the deck team, but the deck team now seems to be kind of like lost in translation on what's going on. And Joao is like, wow, these guys are literally disorganized and they don't know what they're doing. So he comes in a little heated. If you remember Joao from Below Deck Med, he is a different person, or trying to act like a different person, but I think he is a good energy to bring into the crew right now. But what do you guys think about his re-entrance on Below Deck? Not everyone's very happy about this.
I'm coming with fresh eyes with him, so I don't have the background, but initially it hasn't been great. Especially I think there were 2 negative comments within 2 minutes of him walking on between him saying hi to Serena and Aisha. So, and I like Serena and Aisha. I feel like we're buddies, and I feel like we would get along outside of the Below Deck world. So I'm like, these are my girlfriends, and if they don't like him, I don't like him. But I want to like him. I think he's got a good heart, but The comments about Culver at the end, I didn't love about him calling him the laziest worker. So I've been on a roller coaster with him, and he's somewhere in the middle.
Josh?
Yeah. So
very curious.
For one, you want people to want to follow you regardless of the title. Your title shouldn't be why people respect you and follow you. He arrives to the ship, and yeah, he wants to bring order and he wants to tighten up the crew and stuff. And that's very valid points he made. That's not how a true leader does it, by just pissing everyone off. And his attitude, like I keep going back to this because these guys are like half my age, but a lot of it is maturity. Like I could see the lack of life experience in them. Do I think they're doing something different than I would have? Nope. They're probably acting exactly how I did. I probably was worse at times, but I see like the way he enters the ship and is like kind of this, I'm not their friend. I'm their boss and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but a lot of really well-respected bosses are cool with their crews and their teams or whatever. Like, you need to learn how to be a better boss. And quite frankly, it's, some people are saying, even my beloved Norma is saying that he seems matured, he's grown and stuff. It's easy for everyone to be on their best behavior their first day or two with a bunch of crew, but we're already at like night 2, drinks are flowing, and we're already seeing remnants of old Joao.
It's not just remnants of, we made a comparison to Gary and Luke because of some kind of behavior, right?
Yes.
Now I'm seeing a comparison. Remember, Josh, when last season of Below Deck Sailing, when Gary was stuck with COVID, he was stuck in a hotel. And I told you, like, after the first episode, when he comes back, the dynamic with the deck team is going to be there. And he's going to feel like he needs to be the alpha male who comes in. So Joao is coming into a team that has been running with a different alpha male. And now he has to come in and prove that he also is an alpha male, except Adam and Harry and Culver all think that Joao is lazy. And is it because he's actually lazy, or is it because he's coming in to try to observe what has been done before, trying to put together a schedule, trying to put together some kind of, order? I mean, I don't know. It's early.
Two things could be true at once, do I think he's kind of do I think there's a lot of the same immature Joao in there? Sure. Joao, right? It's Joao, right?
Yeah, Joao. There's the old Joao right there.
So
here's the new one.
So do I think that's still in there? Absolutely. But like, yeah, I think he's
a little lost. He's a little lost.
He's lost. And those guys, and the thing is too, if he stopped and took a deep breath and looked around, he'd go, okay, I have 3 guys that are willing to work and are a good crew. He's not inheriting like an absolute mess. Could things be a little better? Sure. But those guys are there to learn to be better. They're all newer kind of guys. And none of them have said, I should be leading this thing or anything. Sometimes a couple, Culver says, oh, I wish I was. And Adam kind of is, I went to school for this, but they still acquiesce. They still listen. They still defer to their leader. Yeah. And he's got a good crew. So
he really does. And I think that what we're seeing is just kind of that arc of change. There's a new person here. There's new energy. I don't love so much, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about Joao before we talk about this horrible tender incident that happened, but I don't love the talking about his own team to other people. Like Bailey, like you mentioned, when he was talking about Culver to someone else, it's like that is not a leader. You want to keep your team under you. You want to keep the trust and that relationship going. And I just feel like he might have messed up there just a little bit.
Oh, and when I was saying, I forgot to get to this other point. When I said 2 things could be right, true at once. Yes. I do think he is working hard though. Like, it's funny, while his guys are saying he's not doing anything, the camera cuts to him going around and doing a lot of work. So I think part of it is he's doing it unseen, or like while the guys are over here doing this, he's assigned them, and then he's over there doing stuff. It's not like he's then hitting a hammock, so I will give credit where credit's due. He is working, but he's also a D-bag. So two things can be true.
Two things can be true at once. I just want to give a shout out to Kendra, who is in the live chat tonight. We haven't seen her in a while, and I saw her pop up yesterday in our lives. It's nice to see you in the chat, Kendra. Okay, so we started off episode 9 where we left off episode 8, which the winds were terrible, where the yacht was, and they were trying to bring the tender back up. Culver was in charge of the crane and bringing it up. Apparently, there are 2 speeds. This is something we're going to ask Captain Sean when he comes on about this kind of situation. This looked like a very dangerous situation, and I don't know who was in the wrong, because Joao, who was kayaking with a guest, was like, what is he doing? And then Jason is trying to give a direction. It's apparently not really being followed, but there could have been more to it. And I don't know if it was like very accidental or if this could have been avoided.
Well, we saw, they kind of said, it turns out Culver didn't, there's 2 speeds on the motor, the fast and the slow. And he even said there's like a turtle and a rabbit. And he left it on the fast speed is what it sounds like. Even Captain Jason said, there's a slower speed. I told you to turn it to the slower speed. And I think Culver was just overwhelmed his first time doing it, and he forgot to switch it. And so every time Captain Jason says, bring it up a little, put it down a little, it was flying up and flying down, as opposed to the gentle, because we've seen these things and it seems like it takes 5 minutes for the things to raise up when they're doing it at the slow speed, but that's right. The controlled speed. And so this, we saw it just whipping up, whipping back and forth. It was definitely, you could tell it was set to fast. So
what I didn't love was Joao with the kayak, and maybe it's coming from the service industry. I'm like very protective of how guests see the servers and like things that they overhear, where he was like, I don't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines like, what's he doing? I'm like freaking out. And it brought more attention to it, because now as a guest, if I were in that girl's shoes, like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's normal. Like I'm not watching this.
No, the whole thing of it, like you just brought up, Bailey, the whole thing about hospitality is
protect the experience.
I worked in that industry too, and it was all about an experience from when you walk through the door. I mean, Josh, even performing, from when you walk through the door until you leave, everything is a show, right? You don't want to point out the negatives. You don't want to point out like, oh,
when you turn on that,
did you see that performer trip? Yeah, exactly. You don't want to see that. You just want to. I'm turning it off right now.
You're right. Like, and Jason, I can think of times where literally you and I have been doing a show and a small fire starts, or someone hurts backstage, and it's like the audience doesn't need to know that.
They don't need to
everything in your power to hide it. You give them the same experience that the people who, the Friday night late show gets the same experience as the Monday morning matinee. Like that's the goal, at least if you're, if you care about your audience. And so, for him just to go like, what are they doing? It's like, nope.
What is he doing? It's like, what are you trying to prove?
You saying this stuff does nothing to improve or, help the situation. Calmly get your person to shore, let the thing, and if anything, just it looks like they're having a little trouble with the boat. Like that's that's all it needs to be.
Yeah,
they need to be trashing your
captain.
Crew.
The captain is up there.
Yeah, so now you're making
the deal with that.
Yeah,
he asked you to go kayak with a guest. You went to go kayak with the guest. Zip it. Like things that you're not in control of. You really you don't have control over. So just wait, like you said, Josh. Like, wait till you get back. Assess the situation. You have a captain. You have 2 other guys who are up there who are very capable of helping out. Although it looked very dangerous for like 1 second. I was like, if this falls on someone, it didn't look good. I mean, like we haven't seen this much damage. I have to tell you something though. We had a comment. Remember last week we were talking about the boat and how like some people think the boat is just kind of like aged and it's not as vibrant as some of these newer boats. And someone pointed out, well, at least every time they lose electricity. It's not like Like they're not like doing this like on Motor Yacht Home. Remember every time they would lose their stabilizers and they would like keep rocking back and forth. It was a brand new yacht. And then you're sitting there like holding on for dear life.
That's a good point.
I thought that was funny. So whoever brought that to our attention, we appreciate it, guys. 250 in the room. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It helps us out tremendously. All right, let's move on. So we have the tender struggle, but we didn't just have an introduction of Joao. We had an introduction of a new stew because, of course, our good friend Laura is gone and she needs to be replaced. I do have to say and commend Aisha and Margot. They were a two-person team, keeping the yacht like kind of together without complaining. Like Margot had her little like side things for the cameras. That's cool, but it's like, wow. I don't know if it was just the charter guests making it easy for you guys or you guys were making it easy to watch, because I haven't seen, usually when we see one person down in the interior, it is a shit show. Go back to Below Deck season 10. It's a shit show. So,
well,
you know,
any moment in life, you can, it's your approach. That's the only thing you could, the only thing you could change is how you, handle it, how you approach it, how you respond, right? Like the situation is what it is. So I could bitch and moan, doesn't mean someone's gonna suddenly magically appear and help us. So either just try to go with it, have fun. We'll look back on it and laugh about, oh my God, remember that time we had to do a whole day and a half, just you and I, ha ha ha. Or we could be the, my life is horrible.
Yeah. And if it was basically like having Laura there, because remember, Laura was taking like 45-minute showers, 20-minute makeup breaks, a nap. By the time she got to work, like the whole thing was done. So,
I think too, like Margot and Aisha have like formed this even deeper bond than ever before, like trust, and they got each other's back, right? Just like through everything. So I like their dynamic, I think is really cool. Like seeing them work together because they're just looking out for each other. So and with Jamie coming in, my initial thoughts are, I'm really excited about her. I love that she has all the experience because I don't think it's going to be any like awkwardness with Aisha. I think if anything, it's going to be awkwardness with Serena, but Jamie I think seems really great. She is beautiful.
I'm going to say something really quickly. I am a gay man, so I don't feel how some of these guys feel
feelings.
But I love her.
She's stunning.
She feels like, I feel like she's maybe on the wrong show. Like, look at her right here.
Yeah.
Like, she gives me that Sex and the City vibes. I hope I'm not like listen, I'm going to admit that I'm wrong. Okay, Josh, because Harry and Margot don't make a great relationship. I was wishful thinking, but here I'm wishful thinking about Jamie this season. I hope she's going to provide great television, which she already is.
We saw her first within 24 hours is definitely providing.
Yeah.
Are you here's my thing. Are you fooled by a fresh face? Like, yes, she's undeniably symmetrical and a beautiful girl.
Symmetrical.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
very symmetrical.
She's symmetrical. She's like a model. She looks. If someone told me she was in the, sorry, this has been a long work week. The Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, I'd go, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. She looks like a new young model of of the year or whatever. But, I don't know. Do we think she's a quality person aside from her looks?
I think that. This is to be seen. Like, they're not going to bring on just like a really good, stew, right?
Yeah.
She has to cause some drama. This is Bravo. We're not watching PBS.
She was a little drunk and she was like, whatever, this guy's cute. And like, they haven't made their move and it's been how many charters and they haven't like done anything. I really see nothing wrong. I mean, aside from making it awkward to work with the chef, but I also like that Jamie gave away.
Wait, hold on. Is this the Bailey who I was just talking to last week and was lecturing us on girls who look out for the girls, and then there's the bad girls?
That's true.
That is right.
OMG, Bailey.
Okay, but she doesn't know Serena anything. She doesn't even know her. They
literally told her 4 hours ago, hey, they're kind of together, they're feeling things out. And weren't we all just so in love with Serena and Culver and their cute, like,
yeah.
nice
So my
tempo.
my next question though is because Culver season 1 of Below Deck Down Under is amazing. Like this guy just reads as like a good guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a sweet home Alabama husband, like that kind of guy, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, a new little shiny thing in his face, and it's, you know, Serena is like a thing of the past here, and it makes me question Culver. But then, like, you're on this boat for 6 weeks, so what are the boundaries here with relationships?
I love this comment.
Here's the thing. Here's the girls. What about the guy? This is Culver's fault. This is like he could have been more forthright.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in him too. But we were talking about her. Culver,
that's fair.
Not a good guy. He had won me over. I thought he was this really nice guy. And really, I'm super disappointed. Man, I feel like such an old man. These kids need to clean up their acts. They need to stick with the one they came with. And anyways, I'm such an old man. I get it.
But this leads us to, and before we, because I want to stay a little bit on the charter too, but this leads us to Serena and Joao, because Serena and Joao have a history of Joao was, I think, sleeping with Serena's friend,
and she was
sleeping with Joao's friend, and they were like friends, you know. So I don't know. Serena has a lot to say about Joao, but at the same time, she is kind of being his best friend, as she put it. She's trying to put on this front, and it's just coming off like hypocritical a little bit. Well, I would never with Joao what he did to my friend, but like, hi Joao, it's weird. So maybe we're gonna see like
a chocolate pot between her legs and telling him to eat it and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, guys, have we seen this before? Have you guys ever
posted this? Like this? No, and it's incredible. She literally looks like a little lion, a little wildcat.
I loved, like you said, I did love her. I thought she brought a lot of different energy. Like, listen, again, I'm going to make a statement. I'm a gay man, but I can appreciate a very good looking woman. I do have to say, I have seen this before.
Really?
Yes, I was actually hosting a party at a very big celebrity's house in Lake Como, Italy. And this model came out with all sushi all over her. And the birthday boy had to eat the sushi off of the area. It was very weird. And then the birthday boy's parents were like right behind him, like,
yeah, I've seen something similar with beef stew. That doesn't work well. You don't want to serve hot beef stew off a girl.
You did it. Technically,
I didn't see you in West Hollywood. I didn't see you in West Hollywood, Josh. I didn't know we went to the same
you lose
club.
A lot of broth. Yeah, you end up with just a mouthful of potatoes, guys. You don't want to do the hot stew. Also,
gross.
The breakfast oatmeal buffet also doesn't work too hot on that. Okay. So.
Can we just go back to how much work went into this and how well Chef, which she might not be doing so well in the relationship department with Culver, but how well she is doing at providing a great experience. She had a hiccup last charter, you know, and then she came back with like vegan options on episode 8, which was the episode before the one we're talking about, because we're getting those two headers, you know, every week. And she's coming back with like a vengeance. I feel like she's doing so well. The only thing that could ruin her right now is this, and I hope that's not going to ruin her.
Yeah.
But you know, beef stew. Josh, you're ridiculous. I'm just... Will we be able to top these guests?
I think
in likeness, so. I don't think so.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as just fun television, yeah, I think we've got this season. I think is going to be wild. But this might go down as one of the most memorable Below Deck seasons. Like it's an entertaining season.
I have to say, like, the only thing that this has been very entertaining, and this has changed, I think, the scope of Below Deck. I think it's brought a lot of, you know, the whole situation, unfortunately, that happened last week brought a whole new audience to it. But at the same time, this cast, this crew, the way it was put together, the way it was produced, shall I say, really is keeping people's interest. So I think that's great. And also, guys, we have a lot of new people here on Anchor Watch. And just to let you know, everyone's been asking, why is Anchor Watch at 11 p.m.? And well, that's what time Anchor Watch happens on a yacht. You come, it's late at night, and they watch the anchor, and they sit there and do nothing. But at least we're here talking, so that's good.
This
All
is
right,
our
so
late show on Up and Adam's channel. So
this is our late show. So I want to come to a sad moment in this episode.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
This was sad for me, Josh, because
okay,
I argued
so why
with
was
you
it sad for you?
It was sad for me. Let me go ahead and hold on. It was sad for me because I really like Harry. I think he's such a nice guy. I think Margot is such a nice person. I just think it's like
we need a stronger personality or something.
100%. Like it's like, oh, I just said 100%.
I was like, we need to take a drink every time. We're trying to get away from 100%.
Right, 100%. I just felt like it was like almost like he was talking to like a big sister, trying to please her like a friend. And it wasn't very romantic. And yes, he should be trying a little more, but she should be trying a little. I don't know. It's just not a fit. Harry, oh man, I feel bad.
Bailey, before I explain what's happening here, what are your thoughts?
As soon as they started trying the back and forth with how to pronounce algae, I was like, oh, this is where we're at. We're done here. This is brotherly sister kind of love. This is not happening.
Not even the charcuterie board saved it.
No. Like there was no actual conversation. It wasn't like, how many siblings do you have? And like, where's your favorite vacation spots? I don't know. Normal things. I feel like I could have had a better conversation with the wall, but that was awkward to watch.
I mean, Josh, do you think that Harry would fare better with, let's say, a Jamie?
Folks, sit down. Let's talk relationships. Here, listen. Here we go. Everyone have a seat.
I'm ready.
A good relationship, something that makes it fun, is it's a game of tug of war, right? Sometimes you want to be the one tugging, but every once in a while you want to be tugged too. The problem is he never invited her ever to be the pursuer. He always is pursuing. He's always doting over her. He's always there with the compliment, always there with the hug, to where he's so boringly dependable on what he's going to bring to the table at any given moment. And folks, that just ain't exciting for people. And you know what? Sometimes it's fun to be chased, and sometimes it's fun to chase. And he's so incredibly boringly nice. And that is
do you think it's just you?
Can we also point out the guys that she said she's always been attracted to, she's had relationships, are always guys who, unfortunately for her, she got with the guys who pushed too far away and were too mean to her. But that drove her to them. She has been settling every time she's mentioned Harry or agreed. Even when they agreed to the date, when she's like, she's all, so wait, are you asking me on a date? He's like, yes. She goes, sure. Like she never went like, yes, oh my gosh, I would love that or anything. She never showed excitement. Everyone roast me in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong.
I never thought I'd agree with you more. I agree with you fully. Like that is so true. You're so right. She has never once initiated the hypothetical smack on the butt. You know, like she's not. There's never been any like her saying, "Harry, you look so nice today." In fact, she was shocked. Like, "Oh, you're right there." Okay,
he was waiting there. As soon as she comes out, and it's like,
I'm waiting for you to be ready.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like an act of God that it started raining and they had to end the date a little
100%.
sooner than?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a firm believer that
he brought us a rainbow and promised us he would never flood again, but he had to throw some rain on that. He was like, I gotta save this girl.
Yeah.
Oh no, man! I was hoping for the best. I really was. I really like Harry. I think he's great energy. He's great to watch on camera. It's so different than what we normally see from the deck crew of Below Deck. All right, so we go on our crew night out. This is how we finish our episode.
The tugging comments are killing me.
Yeah, a lot of people really like. Yeah, here Tess actually summed it up best. Sometimes you have to tug and get tugged.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, you know, you have to. What did they say? You have to give to receive. So yeah,
there's actually places in town that'll teach those skills. So.
Don't even know what to say. All right, so hey, I wanted to ask this really quickly because I feel like Aisha is our star, right? We have Jason and Aisha who have really like this season so far have been very great replacements for Lee and Kate Chastain, really. Like I feel like we finally had that. You know, we didn't have that on Below Deck. We never got that captain. We never got that.
They are main character energy.
Yeah, they're the main characters. I feel like even Serena is bringing it a little bit. But what do you think about Aisha kind of bringing Serena down a notch? And like, girl, you look like you're about to jump in Joel's bed after you know what happened with your friend. Why are you acting like his best friend? What the hell is going on? And she was very blunt, very forward in how she said that. Do you think this is a good thing for Serena to hear? Do you think Aisha was right? Or do you think that she's reading it wrong?
No, I think Aisha's right, but it was a little more intense than I think I would have been, or, you know, if I were in her shoes kind of thing. Like she was a little aggressive, but Serena, they had that relationship and Serena handled it like a champ. She was like, no, like my friend texted me, it's fine. But I do think it was a little kick in the butt. But my favorite from Aisha was, it's not worth it. One night of vaginal pleasure. Serena was
I just got a new ringtone, Bailey. Thank you.
Wow. Good Lord. I mean, she gave a good warning. I mean, from Joel's past on the show, it is kind of like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Anyway, I think what's going to happen is not going to be great. I think that we had this whole Culver Serena situation building, and then all of a sudden she's watching him make out with the new girl who, like, even I would make out with her, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. You know, you have him making out with the new girl and a very symmetrical face, you know, a good, very symmetrical kiss, you know, and then even you can see by the subtitle, it's like, well, I don't want to, but
I mean, they look good. They look good there. Like, they look good together, even with that helmet.
It's very cute. But do you think this will drive Serena into feelings for somebody else, i.e., Joel?
Harry.
Not Harry.
No.
I think Harry's lost.
I think Serena's going to have a hard time on the next charter because it's going to be on her brain. I think then Culver's going to be like, oh, wait, I do like Serena, but he's going to be playing both sides. And I think Serena's going to have a really tough time.
Well, I think, I mean, Culver's going to be like, I'm sorry, but she's a 10. You understand.
Yeah. He's not going to say no.
It's not the Culver that I think we thought we were getting. Like, honestly, I thought Culver was going down the route of, you know, loving the chef who cooks. And I don't know.
Is your chat moving for you, by the way?
My chat is not moving, guys.
And StreamYard.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. StreamYard has a lot of issues sometimes, but I did see we just got a super chat from Josie. Thank you so much, Josie, for the super chat. Thank you all for a great show again. Thank you guys for being here again. We have almost 300 in the room. Hit that like button. Helps us out tremendously. We're here every Tuesday, almost every Tuesday. I think we've missed like maybe 5 Tuesdays in the past 3 years.
Josie,
Christmas and stuff like that.
I want to thank Josie again because Josie, really, StreamYard's acting nuts, so we can't put it up on the screen. But
I know
she did a great super chat for us, and she's thanking us for the great show. thank you guys. Like seriously, you guys are feeding this. Fortunately we have our private chat going, so we are still in the chat room and stuff. But yeah, you guys are, trust me, you guys are the other half of the show here. It's us.
Here,
and
I took
guys.
a quick screenshot just so we can give it some validation. Thank you, Josie. We appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the great show again. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sometimes StreamYard is a little slower than we'd like.
Sassy.
All right, guys. I want to go around the room really quick because before we bring Captain Sean on to discuss some tender issues, what are we looking forward to for next episode? And Bailey, will we see you next week?
Oh God. So okay. First of all, yes. And second of all, I hate to say it, but I just love the drama and I want to see the Serena and Culver and the Jamie thing play out. I'm excited about it.
Oh, same.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the old man. I gripe about it, but it's good television, right?
Yeah,
like, we want to watch it go crazy, and
it's the levity
and it has
that
boundaries. It's not like we're watching, Luke run around with.
Exactly. It's the levity we needed. We needed something. We needed this. The Below Deckies, the Anchor Watch crew, we needed this. And I'm grateful for these last 2 episodes and the guests and the new crew. I think this will be good. This is the round 3 of the season. So I'm looking forward to it.
I love that. I think the same, Josh. Same.
Totally. Like we're about to see fireworks go off, right?
Yeah.
Like we all want to watch this happen. And so
I mean, next week it's episode 10 and 11. We're mid-season. We're like right at the middle. We just brought Joao. We just brought Jamie, and I feel like everyone is excited to see Jamie. You know what's really funny is on YouTube and on Instagram, the polls were all in favor of Jamie. But if you go over to, it's not Twitter, X now, the polls over there were all Joao. So
wow,
yeah,
what?
It's very interesting.
It's the kiss. Dang.
Is it the kiss?
Yeah, it's gotta be the only reason.
She's so symmetrical, though. How can she... Okay, Bailey, stay here. We're gonna bring on Captain Sean. Let's get symmetrical with Captain Sean.
Let's get symmetrical with Captain Sean because we have a lot to ask Captain Sean tonight.
Yay!
All right. Now we have a captain in the house. Captain Sean, welcome. First of all,
good evening.
We're lucky to have you here. We know you have a very busy day tomorrow. You have a hold on, I'll bring that up while we talk about this. Yeah, you're doing a series of videos on chartering through different places.
Yeah, I do a series of webinars on different parts of the world. I've done New England, Greece, the Bahamas, and tomorrow I'm doing Thailand with my friend Bill O'Leary, fondly known as Billo, the author of the Southeast Asia Sea Pilot, and one of the funniest guys I know. Anyway, so tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Worth Avenue YouTube channel.
And I'm sorry, I should have brought a photo up before. I will find one and bring it up. But yeah, it is very interesting. I watched the whole Bahamas one, and
if you search Worth Avenue Yachts in YouTube, you will find the
it's in the description below. And actually, guys, if you do want to go ahead and sign up and be part of that, it's tomorrow morning. That is also in the description below. You'll just have to click the link, and it will take you straight there.
Look at that represent.
Too small for my big head, but yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Here we go.
I got mine on too. It's invisible clothes.
I don't have anything. I got nothing.
I should send you one of mine. I have 2 of them. I should send you one.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, Bailey,
orange is my color.
I'll get you some swag, Bailey.
These are the best ones, though. I love these ones.
Yeah, Jason's got the classic.
Yeah,
they're so nice. Captain Sean, so we had an incident with a tender coming back on board through the crane, right? And before we came on tonight, we were talking about how this is an older ship. Of course, we were talking about that last week as well. But did that play a role in bringing the tender up? And what happened here? Even if the winds were strong, was it a human error by operation, or was it actual natural circumstances.
Well, I hate to be an armchair quarterback, but I have had similar incidents happen. Like if you notice, the remote to that crane comes off like a plug, and on what happens sometimes, and so it might have not have been his fault that like water gets in that plug and it only sticks on one speed, or it just wasn't like on the little on the box. It was only in the high speed mode, or it could have been actually on the crane unit. It's got like a little button for high and low speed. Either way, it looked like it was on the high speed mode, and that's why it was all jerky. And there's like a giant brake on the crane as well, which swings it, which stops it from swinging around, and it handles it a lot easier if it's in the slow speed setting. But if it's in that high speed setting, it whips around, and then you get the guys trying to hold the lines on there to try to hold that thing steady. Plus, when you pick that boat up and swing it off to the side, the actual whole boat tilts as well. So you get a lot of different forces that are throwing that thing around. And when it's on that high speed mode, it's really, really impossible to try to handle it properly. But yeah, so I can definitely see that happen. And because this is an older boat, it's crane probably isn't the newest in technology.
Yeah, so usually there are more than just the fast and slow speeds.
It depends on the crane. Like basically most of now the remotes are actually wireless. And so you could walk at any particular angle, and that's eliminated the problem of those plugs getting wet, or like the little, like usually there's 16 pin military plugs, and they're super complicated to wire. And if they get broken and you got to rewire the thing, it's like a real nightmare to get in there and make them. And then usually they never work right after you do rewire them. So anyway, and you usually you lose the high speed setting when those plugs go bad, and it just sticks to the low speed setting. But I don't know. I have had a lot of experience with bad cranes and the boats flying around, and I've been lucky. I didn't crush any railings, but and that was.
I mean, this is the first like incident we've seen this season of like something going wrong, like a bad docking, or we see, like, we watched Captain Sandy last season on Med just run into all of the dolphins and
She hated those dolphins.
Yeah, she hated them. She hated them. Captain Sean, I have another question for you really quick.
Sure.
Have you seen something like this?
Yeah. So, so this episode's answered a couple of questions. So,
okay.
So you said it was filmed 2 years ago, and about that was like when I think when my episode was on about that time. And Astroglide Australia started following me, and some porn stars in like Australia. And I was like, I couldn't figure out. I'm like, maybe I'm big in the porn industry in Australia. Who knew? And
and why would that be?
So I'm like, it must be. It was like they probably were on the show, and then they started following me because they started watching Below Deck. So anyway, that solved that mystery.
That's funny.
Yeah. That is really funny.
And by the way, Josh, here in New England, we use clam chowder, not beef stew. So
good Lord, the jokes are just flying tonight.
and also, speaking of lube, so it might have been a question of not enough lube on the crane, and with the porn stars on board, they probably.
How could you not? Listen, the discipline of these guests. Right. I mean, they called it a night at one point to go make sure they were there for their cam shows. Like I was very impressed. They're almost more disciplined than the crew.
Oh, I would say, yeah. And probably more limber.
So Sean, I know tonight we're keeping it a little short, but tomorrow you do have your event, and you've been doing this. I want to say this is your third or fourth one in the past 2 months.
Yeah, so this will be our fourth one.
Yeah, so we've done Bahamas, New England,
Greece,
and then now Thailand. It's really informative. It's really interesting. Cool. I left it on while I was working. Wait, Josh, say that again. I think you're muted.
I was muted. Sorry, tugging over here. No, I was saying, Sean, all those videos are on Worth Avenue Yachts YouTube channel. So if you missed them, or if you're planning a trip to those regions and you want to get Captain Sean's take on it, go watch them. They're there. So
yeah, we always.
But no, I was going to say on the same channel is there's the walkthrough that you and I, Jason, did of My Sienna.
Yeah, so one of the original below deck yachts that you've seen on the show. We did a great walkthrough. It is very interesting to watch. I'm trying to bring up Worth Avenue's page really quick if I can find it. But if you go to youtube.com/Worth Avenue Yacht, so here we go.
Yeah, and speaking of lube and limber, that's some of the stuff we won't be talking about Thailand tomorrow. But anyway,
I'm pretty sure, and Worth Avenue Yachts, if you want to learn any more about sorry, I'm like catching up. If you want to learn any more about yachting or are interested in chartering, anything like that, Worth Avenue Yachts literally has they're literally the most exclusive, amazing yacht industry. It's also gay owned yacht brokerage, which is not very, very far and few between in the yachting industry,
or at least the ones that will admit it.
All right, guys,
and we're the snazziest dressers.
100%.
I don't know where the correlation is, but anyway. And if you look, Adam and I are matching to like
Jason.
Oh yeah, Jay. Well, you would be matching Adam too.
I'm looking at the Up and Adam logo.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we're all matching tonight with our black. All the cool people. Captain Sean, if you had to, what? Wait, what?
I'm in orange.
Right. That's okay, Bailey.
So you're basically calling me not cool.
I'm in orange now too. So there we go.
Put the orange hat on, Josh, right now.
Be cool with all of us. Be cool. So next week, Captain Sean will be back. If you want to leave your questions in the comments below, we want to take questions for Captain Sean, because when you watch these, we've done a lot of this, but when you watch the episodes of Below Deck, a lot of people have questions on yachting. Like, does that actually happen in the galley? Is this the chef, does she really do this? Do the captains really do that? So this is your opportunity to leave your questions below. And next week we will be 20 questioning Captain Sean.
And
so we're so excited.
You can ask me questions on Instagram as well too. Instagram is Excitement Factory. That was one of the one of the questions I got was they said there was something wrong with the Tinder on board the boat, and I was like, what? And that caught my attention, but they meant tender. But
don't worry,
they said their Tinder had crashed.
Captain Sean will swoop in and help you swipe if your Tinder ever has trouble.
Swipe right on Captain Sean.
All right, Captain Sean, one more time, because we're about to wrap up. But tomorrow you're talking about chartering Thailand. What are some of the points you're going to hit in this tomorrow?
So all sorts of So basically, Bill O'Leary and I are going to talk about 20 different destinations in Thailand, going through Panang Bay, which is where they filmed the movie Man with a Golden Gun. A lot of the places I've been fortunate to go to were Bond movie settings. We'll talk about diving with whale sharks and playing with monkeys and all sorts of fun stuff that you can do in Thailand. And a little bit of Burma as well too, which is now Myanmar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, 100%. Adam and I lived in Thailand for like 6 months.
What?
Yeah. We lived in Thailand for 6 months. We lived in Bangkok and Phuket and Krabi. So yeah, we got a chance to go to like some of these islands on these really cool little, not big yachts, but boats that were very bumpy. Not so much fun.
Those little paddle boats that you do
on the little lakes, the ones that look like swans. Like, have you ever seen those? All right, guys. So Captain Sean tomorrow again, we'll be talking about chartering Thailand at 9 a.m. on Worth Avenue Yachts. Hit it up, and if you haven't, subscribe to Worth Avenue Yachts and get the you know why I like to subscribe to a whole bunch of yacht channels and Instagram channels is because I love to see the beauty of these boats.
And you're manifesting someone giving you a yacht.
Well, Jason, you have an open invitation to come join me in Monaco in a couple of weeks. So
it's in the works. It's in the works. We're gonna. Yeah, Captain Sandy will be at the Monaco Yacht Show. She was last year. Actually, last year at Monaco Yacht Show, I believe it was Sandy, Andy Cohen showed up, and someone else was there. I forgot who. I don't know if it was another captain or whatever. So, yeah, let's go.
I heard they even brought a couple of those Thailand monkeys.
Josh.
I'm just trying to tie in Captain John's.
This is totally bit of random trivia. So there's a village in Thailand, but then we'll let you go. So the village we'll talk about this tomorrow. But there's a village in Thailand that is like there's all these monkeys live in the village and they run around town. And for years, people have been giving them cigarettes, and the monkeys have lighters and they can smoke. So all these monkeys are smoking. But during the pandemic, no tourists were coming to this village, and the monkeys went berserk because they couldn't get cigarettes. And they were like breaking into 7-Elevens in people's houses, and they were going crazy. So the moral
this is a movie. A movie needs to be made.
I think Cocaine Bear was loosely based off of that.
So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., you can find out more about the smoking monkeys and everything else you can experience on the chart.
This is a perfect thing to end on. That was perfect.
Before we go really quick, because Bailey, you've been joining us, you've been a part of Anchor Watch for a while, on and off, but now I think we're going to get you, I hope, crossing fingers for the rest of the season of Below Deck Down Under. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if someone wants
next Tuesday is what I'm saying.
That's and we're hoping so. But where can we find you? Where can someone find you if they want to follow you and know about Bailey a little more?
You look up Bailey Brewer. You should find her. You should find me.
Okay, done.
Yeah, done. Instagram. I'm the worst.
Never mind. I might go into OnlyFans again. Jeez.
And Sean,
I'm sorry. I'm just looking up smoking monkeys.
And Sean, I know that on Instagram we can find you at Excitement Factory. Is there anywhere else we can find you on social media that people might not know about?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. And I don't know. I thought I lost Twitter because they changed the freaking bird to X. And then I don't know what to do with Twitter. I tweet. I retweet.
The same thing with Threads.
Put stuff up. I don't know what happens to what I do when I put things on. It just goes. But anyway,
it just goes.
That's funny. The bird. They changed from the bird, and I like the bird.
I know. We love the bird.
He doesn't like the X.
They should have changed it to a monkey.
You heard Captain Sean.
And guys, if you want to see more of Josh and I, then you can just really tune in next week at 11 p.m. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here. But usually we live tweet, but we haven't been live tweeting. We should live tweet, but when we live tweet, we can't do it together because we're on different coasts. So, but guys. Captain Sean, thank you for joining us tonight. Bailey, we appreciate you being here. Josh, next week we'll see you. Episodes 10 and 11.
I'm sure.
All right, guys, have a great night. And if you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Leave a review, push 5 stars. And if you guys are part of our replay crew, leave a comment below. And if you have a question for Captain Sean, please leave that too. And we will see you all next week. Good night, everyone. Bye everyone.
Bonsoir.